bring some grumpiness to your internet, and welcome back to Redneck Radio, the live stream where today you get an extra healthy side helping of pan fried chicken. Good
Ooh.
old Southern style pan fried chicken. That sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Cast iron skillet, of course.
Oh yeah.
Cast iron skillet. That sounds good. With me today is Maddie. Maddie, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Good, good. As I've said on Twitter and as I made a post earlier, guys, I'm not joking. They're literally right outside my house replacing two electrical poles. They will be cutting the power at some point. The question is when. And I'm not too confident that we're going to get through this whole stream before they do. So we'll see what happens. If I suddenly disappear, y'all know what happened.
Yep.
I knew it was coming. I've been talking about it for a while because they've been replacing the poles in the neighborhood here for a couple of weeks now, and one of the poles they're replacing right at this minute. It not only has my power connected to it, but it also has my cable connected to it. So if it goes, yeah, I'm gone until it comes back. So, word of warning. They're replacing Polish people. Yeah, it's a purge. Hadn't you heard, Alex? It's a purge. Indiana's purging all the Polacks.
Yeah, they're replacing them with Puerto Rican people, which is right up there on the stupid ladder.
There actually is a sizable Polish community in central Indiana. So funny that you mentioned that. But yeah, so we'll do the best we can, and we'll keep going as long as we can. But I already seen one of the guys because I've been up in the window watching them out my kitchen window. They're no more than 25 feet away from my house at the moment, and I've been watching them, and they were looking at the cable box, and one of the guys is on the telephone. So I'm thinking they're trying to get the cable guy out there to turn it off.
Yeah,
is what it's looking like. So I don't know. We'll just see what happens and go from there. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Hope you guys are doing good. I'm happy that I got the last episode of Redneck Trek out, so it's back. I was also happy because I was a little suspect personally of it because I didn't think it was one of my better episodes because I kind of rushed the script a little bit.
Ooh.
But apparently everybody liked it. So
I gotta go back and watch it. I was in the middle. I don't know what. Oh yeah, I spent the last weekend mainly off of social media, just playing music and doing shit around the house.
I do it all the time. I don't blame you. I'm not a millennial. Who was somebody? Necrosol was trying to bait me Sunday about the football game because my Colts were playing his Texans. But I didn't get the message till after the game because as soon as the pre-games come on, I turn social media off. So I could watch the pre-games in the game. And I told him, he goes, "Oh, now you answer after you won." Well, yeah, I'm not a millennial. I don't have social media shoved in my face 24/7.
Right? It's like I had I got on YouTube. I found, unfortunately for me, the one show that always makes me very, very motivated to clean the house. I was binging Hoarders.
Hey, all you need. Hey, Pat. But yeah, I'm hoping that they knock on the door before they cut my power and stuff, which they used to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the power's already been cut for like a half hour middle of last week because they were doing this and they didn't inform anybody. So I'm not holding out a lot of hope, but I hope so. If they do, that'll maybe I can ask them to, hey, give me at least 2 minutes to shut the stream down, okay? But we'll see what happens. As you can tell, I'm a little nervous about it because I'm not joking. If my camera would point that direction, I would show you that they are right outside my house. and it's 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 a iffy situation at the moment.
Yep.
But by the way, my team beat Necrosols, so yeah. So, but we're not going to turn this into an NFL stream. We'll save that for when the Badger is on.
Right.
We'll save that. I'm kind of throwing some grumpiness his way lately. Anyway, he's given me statistics on why he thinks my team aren't going to win the division, and I'm like, as long as you've watched football, you should know that that's not a game of just statistics. Baseball, maybe. But there's too many variables, too many things that you can't put a statistic on, because football's very much a game of passion, and you can't put a stat on that.
Nope.
So yeah, stats can be helpful, but they're not the end all be all in the game of the NFL. But anyway, if you want to know about that, you can go to my Twitter and look at it. So what's going on today? Anything?
Well, we had our little news thing this morning. Oh yeah. I have a new follower to my little Twitch channel actually gift me 7 Days to Die when I said the only reason my husband and I weren't doing a hubby and wife stream series was because I didn't have the copy. So now I have the copy. So now I don't have an excuse. That's going to be fun. I'm calling it the the Noobtastic Adventures of Maddie and Ronan.
Alex, you know good and well why I did not send you a link, because you hit me on Twitter earlier and told me you didn't think you were up to being on the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, quit making it look like I'm just ignoring you. If you want on, I'll send you a link. My goodness. Smack you, boy. Don't make me pull this internet over, because I will.
Don't make me pull this over. Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like fun, Maddie. Yeah. You and Ronan doing that. With the semi-success that Redneck Truck's been having, I've been eyeballing maybe another game doing something similar. Not doing BJ Hickenlooper, of course, but maybe something closer to my actual self. Hey, Data. Not 7 Days to Die, though, because I just get way too much lag in that game.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna, if I do a solo little series, sort of akin to what you started with Redneck Trek, it'll probably be Lord of the Rings or something like that. As I have one character on Lord of the Rings, it's literally, I call her a gypsy, and she's about to go underground in Moria. So, gypsies and caves, new. So I figured that would be kind of comical.
He says he's asked 3 times. I press X to doubt. I don't think so, but hey.
Yeah. Quit picking on Papa. Sheesh.
There, you got a link. Shut up now. Yeah, Dr. No says, Bloodwing, how are you? Old. I'm old. And today I'm feeling old. It's been, yesterday was nothing but just rain and cool. Now that's good sleeping weather. Yep. And it always makes me sleepy. And boy, did it. I was so sleepy all day yesterday because of the weather. But it also makes me hurt. And oh gosh, I've hurt pretty good the past couple of days. Or pretty bad, or whatever way you want to say that. Why am I hearing myself back and
he pops in and screws everything up.
We're not hearing you, Alex.
We're hearing ourselves echo.
Alex.
Penis?
There we go.
Yeah, because obviously I've had to fucking reset everything back up. Because as you can see, the office has changed.
Yeah, blue.
Yeah, you're blue. Yeah.
Indeed.
Whoa, blue. Sorry. I had to quote a certain, comic book movie.
There's a bit of a problem, though. You see that nice reflective patch behind me?
Mm-hmm.
That causes me a bit of aggro with the camera.
Is that, wait for it, is that Tobago blue?
I've seen in the chat there, Trinidad and Tobago. I might have to repaint that section just because of light reflection.
Yeah.
Oh, how are we?
Or put something up dark there right on that spot, just or a poster or something. We're fine. We're fine. Trying to stay on the air as long as possible.
Right. I'm doing okay. Yesterday was an oops, what the heck is going on and why is everybody worried about me moment? Because apparently while I was asleep, a tornado blew through to the north of Dallas, which was north of me. And so I woke up to one of my friends texting me, Maddie, are you okay? And I responded with, yeah, why? Because there was a tornado north of you. Well, shit, I slept through it.
Did you use gypsy magic to avoid it? I heard you talking about gypsies, and you kind of remind me a little bit of the Romanian gypsies that you see in the Sherlock movie, the second one.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, the first time I showed my face, everybody was like, you don't look Cuban, you look more Italian. I'm like, oh, well, it's in there somewhere. I'm a mutt.
Well, yeah, I've had at least 2 people in my life tell me I look Italian.
Growing up, just down towards the end of the street, because the street that runs beside Mom and Dad's house, which everybody uses to access, actually dead ends. And at the dead end, we had Romanian families. They actually owned a lot of property around the place.
They often do.
One house closer than that, there was their mom, who did not speak any English. She only spoke Romanian and looked just like the gypsy woman in the old 1940s movie, The Wolfman. Yeah, we were all scared to death of her, afraid she'd put a hex on us.
It's funny because you're talking about this tornado and the gypsies and stuff, and you've got the person in the chat who makes constant jokes, Sheargarath, who says the tornado was no joke.
Yeah, but when you live in Texas and Indiana like I do, states that are in what's called Tornado Alley, you get used to it, and it just kind of like meh, okay.
Yeah, when I used to live back in Noonan, Georgia, and I was delivering pizzas, we had a really rough storm night, and we had a tornado hit a few miles from where we were living. But I was working that day. And I remember us trying to, because trees were down and all this stuff. And I go into the delivery unit, and the general manager, who was, as I like to put it, Hindi Indian, was absolutely frustrated. And I'm like, what's the matter, AJ? He goes, everybody's wondering where their pizza is. They expect your cars to fly.
Everybody's wondering where the pizza is, my friend. Would you like a little tour of my office?
Sure, why not?
As I've recalled it, the Office of Self-Deprecation. And I've actually just finished my brand new Lord Bear video on Trisha Paytas, which I'm just going to begin uploading. If you just give me a moment. Yes, Trisha Paytas, you know who she is.
Who doesn't?
Well, maybe Bloodwing doesn't know who she is.
Clinton Whitaker says there's a group of gypsy in my hometown with my same last name. The police always looked at my family odd until they realized we were not the same family. I bet. This family's last name was, let's see if I can pronounce it because it was always hard for me, Catalata. Catalata. Yeah, they owned a lot of property around here, actually. Still do.
Gypsies often do, mate. So as you can see, I've got new phone.
Yeah.
I've got black so you can't see the cigarette stains. That's smart thinking. My camera. So as you can see, I've readjusted my figurine collection. I don't have the scrolls up. I'm probably going to stick them up there. This wall is blue round to there, so it's like almost like an accent wall. Oh, bugger. Hold on.
Disconnected your camera?
Yeah. It's still plugged in. The fuck?
You doof.
It doesn't have a button for turning it off on it, so I think I might have broke it.
Oops.
Oh dear. It's still plugged in, the light's on. That's weird. That is strange.
Gets
When
into
all
one
else fails, reboot it.
Right.
Yeah. Press restart. Fuck's sake. Hold on a second. I've got to fucking turn it off and on again somehow. Even though
Data in the chat saying you got Barbies back there.
Yeah, the anime Barbie. It's far more degenerate than you'd actually think. There we go. Okay, is it back on? No. How the fuck did I turn it off? It doesn't have an off button. I broke
Maybe
it.
one of the cables is loose.
No, I've just checked the cables. It's all plugged in. The fuck? Oh, I'm a sad little. I can't say bear anymore because I'm not a bear. But
is your camera turned off in the Hangout?
Well, I mean, it was on before. It should just come back on, right? The light's not on.
Well, if maybe you made the power to it flicker, I didn't know if it might affect the Hangout.
Oh, I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
I'm back. I have to be careful. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I've set up my shelving unit so you can see all my figurines. I don't have the thingies up, the scrolls. I'm probably going to put them up to help with that light reflection up there. Got a nice black curtain that goes over there and lots of rugs. Look at all these rugs.
Wow.
Lots and lots of rugs. And I've got rid of loads of shit as well. I need to finish painting that bit over there. I need to paint the door frame. And the rest of the wall is like white and stuff. I've got obviously more foams up there. No, that's not bin bags on the ceiling. That's membrane. And I've got my whiteboard there, which I need the light to reflect off onto my face.
Whose brains? You got brains on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's insane in the membrane. Oh.
Wow. Yeah, that'll do. That's fine.
I did see it, Deck Train. I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen that you sent it. I'm sorry. I've been pretty busy. Wife and I both been pretty busy with my youngest daughter's kids.
What the fuck have I done?
J Kid and his new bride aren't back home yet, so we're still tag teaming, running over and watching them. So
my office is clean, Michael. Ball bag. I've got one empty Lucozade bottle on the floor. That's it. The rest of this, I've binned loads of stuff out of here as well. Oh, and the floor's been raised as well now.
Data says so. It's a walk-in closet. Hey, I would love to have a walk-in closet like that to record in.
It's not a closet, but
as it stands, I record out in the middle of the front room.
There's one thing on the floor. One, right? There's my electric radiator, and I have my work bag over there. So shut up, Michael Ballbag. I'll go back and re-edit my thing to take your name out the credits, you little shit. These are rugs on the floor. And I have stuff, my spare things and important stuff in a bag underneath my desk, along with my desk lamps and other lighting bits of kit. So
Dax, there's one thing on the floor. Yeah, cum stain.
Not yet. I haven't had a chance to christen the new shop.
Yeah, he hasn't christened it yet.
Nope.
No, I'll keep your patronage, Michael.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get another cup of coffee and see where they're at on the poll.
He'll keep the shekels. He'll just,
Yeah. I'll just give you the gob. Primarily, yeah. So, Maddie, how are you?
Well, it seems that we have got some cards in that cover dental and vision. So I may actually be getting actual glasses, prescription glasses soon. Which is great because I've been using reading glasses for the past 2 years, and that's not good on the stigmatism.
Stigmatism? Yeah,
the astigmatism. Your eyes are constantly trying to focus, so you have to force them to focus, and then you get headaches.
Ah, okay. Yeah. I can't. My eyesight's so bad, I can't focus my eyes. I have to lean right in to see something if I can't see it.
Yeah, I am. What do they call it? Farsighted. I see shit from far away. Yeah, not close up. So I think that's farsighted. I always get confused on the terminology.
Yeah, I do as well because I could have sworn that it's meant to be like opposite, isn't it? So like if you're long sighted, then you can only see things close up, and if you're short-sighted, you can only see things far away. That was something I heard of an optician years ago, but I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
I'm both now. I can't see anything. I'm blind as a bat.
I was like, the first time I got my glasses, the guy looked at me. He goes, "Well, you do have astigmatism." He goes, "But you have slight nearsightedness." He said, "So you really don't need glasses. What do you do for a hobby?" I said, "Well, I practice calligraphy, and I paint 25 millimeter miniatures for a desktop war game." He goes, let me get you that glasses prescription. You're gonna need it. I said, okay.
You know, I'm going to be trying to get my residents into that kind of thing soon. My boss approached me asking me to basically do things with them in the evening, because at nighttime they're not doing a lot. Like at the daytime, they're having meetings, all that kind of stuff, attending detox clinic and things like that, and various care, support worker, key worker meetings. So the boss is like, "Alex, and other night staff, can you do something with them?" And I'm like, okay, I'll think of a couple things. Seeing as I'm not allowed to teach them video editing, so
I don't mean to interrupt you, Alex, but I wanted to get this out here. It's not looking real good. They're working on the wires to my house as we speak, so it could be any minute.
Okay.
So just letting everybody know.
quick while you can.
Yeah. Get your shills out real quick.
I don't really have anything to show yet, even though I got the new news video up on my channel, so y'all go check that out. If I post, I will say post, and you guys can click on my name and go check it out. Dectran, I don't want to get LASIK because it's not a permanent fix, and I don't like people. I have this thing about any kind of operative procedure. I don't like people doing shit like that or my personage, unless it's an absolute emergency and they can't avoid it.
Yeah.
My mom actually had got operated on to fix her hammer toe, and I don't think they gave her the right medication to prevent blood clots, because she wound up throwing a clot and it wound up in her lung. Yeah, this was earlier this year, and they're like, "Well, we didn't quite completely fix the hammer toe on X foot." So mom goes, "No, you ain't touching my feet again. I'll figure out something." I'm not going through the whole blood clot, not being able to breathe bull crap again. You're not doing that to me.
Have you used the new YouTube beta for uploading videos?
I used it once.
Yeah.
It was okay.
I don't know. I just clicked the little camera looking thing at the top of the page, that says upload. So I'm not sure if that's the beta or what.
And you haven't clicked like the try it now thing?
No. It's had me by default. Mine goes to
the one that we've been using for the last 3 years.
No, by default, mine goes to the new one. I have to opt into the old one.
If I just share screen with you, just to make sure we're both talking about the same thing, is that what you're talking about? I'm just sharing screen now.
As an upload, mine doesn't look like that.
Yeah, this is the upload beta.
Yeah.
See, I get the upload beta for my geek channel, but not for my main one.
Oh, strange. And shock horror. There's a mini me at the door. Yes, child. No, you can go to bed. Is what you can do. All right. It's chill time for you. You're supposed to be in bed watching the DVD. And I've got the camera turned on, and you're half naked, so don't be coming in here.
Ooh. Yeah.
What?
I just want to go to pants.
Yeah, I know you're in your underpants. And I don't want you showing that on camera. Thank you very
Nobody
much.
wants to see your underpants, Alfie.
Nope.
Right, just keep that round you and come give me a hug.
Well, I was getting a bit hungry.
Oh, you always say that. You're not really hungry.
I am.
All right. Mwah.
I'm
Right,
not
good
even
night.
full. I'm not even full.
Right, go aggravate your mother instead of me.
Bye, Alfie.
Dodwing says bye-bye.
Hi, Alfie.
And Maddie says bye-bye. Go on, get out. Close the door. Don't at me. I'll get up and I'll slap your chops. Don't think that I won't. I can move faster than you. Close the door.
Kids.
Go aggravate your mother. Now. Now!
Yeah, see, I can't say that anymore that I move faster than you. My saying is, I know where you sleep. I'll get you while you're sleeping.
Yeah, there'll come a day when that's the case for me as well, I reckon. But Bloodwing, you should be shilling before the internet goes.
The only thing I got to shill is Thursday's the next Redneck Trek, and
then everything should be buttoned up.
Yeah, all things being equal, there should be a episode 18 of I said Redneck Trek, Redneck Radio. Good Lord, Redneck Trek episode 18 should be Sunday.
Redneck in the title.
Yeah, it makes me confused. I get all confused.
Combuzzled.
Yeah, but hopefully, no, not yet, opinionated Scotsman, but it could end at any moment. They are literally working on the power lines to my house as we speak. I'm kind of half. That's the reason I'm not talking a lot, because I keep looking. There's a window right next to my head to my right, so I keep peeking out the window.
I'm just about to release my video to early access channel members as well.
If I wasn't streaming, I would be out there watching them, because that kind of stuff fascinates me. I love watching them do crap like that.
Mm-hmm.
They've got some fascinating equipment on them trucks. But you know us, man, tools and more power, all that stuff, They're coming for BW's power. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And of course, they've been, like I said, they've been working on it all day in the neighborhood. I've heard them and been watching them. And of course, they moved to these poles just as I'm getting ready to stream. So,
of course.
Yeah. Just my luck.
Yep.
Oh, if I would be okay to show, if you're not,
sure.
Going to do it, I've just made the video available to channel members, so they can go give it a watch. It's just shy of 20-minute Lord Bear video on Trisha Paytas, mainly focusing on her "I'm transgender now" video, mainly focusing on that. It's a pure Lord Bear video as well, not one of my retrospectives. I've not had the time to do one of those during this four off. I will be premiering that in 4 hours time, so if you want to come along for that, which is midnight British time, and I believe 7 Eastern.
Yeah. All you need, they're cutting power because they're replacing the poles in my neighborhood. And they're now replacing the one that my power comes off of, as well as my cable. So when they switch it over, they'll cut the power. It's just a matter of time, because they're working on a pole now. They're putting the cross beam on it right now. That makes it look like a cross as we speak. The government trying to stop Bloodwing from getting his message out. Yeah, well, wouldn't doubt it. I don't exactly agree with everything that goes on, that's for sure.
Well, it's like this morning we had, I've been looking at, for those of you that don't follow her, Chambers, my good friend Chambers, got flown out to Austin, Texas, so she could take notes and witness the trial for James Younger. For those of you that don't know, little James Younger, many months ago, broke on a news story where his mother, because let me put this in perspective. The kid is 8, set of twins. He's one of twins. And his mother is bound and determined to label him transsexual and say that he's female and force him into dresses and call him Luna and chemically castrate him. Well, the trial that's been going on for the past week is to see who gets permanent custody because the father refused to put the boy in dresses. As a matter of fact, that kid havoc. As a matter of fact, whenever the boy went to his dad's, the father would lay out girls' clothes and boys' clothes, and he would pick the boys' clothes, say, "Call me James," and run with it because he's a boy, 100% boy. So this one is for permanent custodialship of the kid. And if she gets him, then we're looking at chemical castration and then hormone blockers in a couple of years. That's what she wants to do to the poor boy. I hope the father gets custody.
Yeah. Carrier, it won't hurt anything. I'm on a laptop. So if they cut the power, it automatically goes to battery. It won't hurt a thing as far as that goes, but it'll knock me off the internet.
Yep, it seems to be that they're completely disregarding it. And Chambers is my friend, Chambers of the Heart. She's got a channel on here on YouTube, and she's got a Twitter account, and she's been keeping up with it because, like I said, they flew him out. They flew her out so she could witness it. Actually, let me see. The last thing she said was, let me see if she's got any more updates.
Real quick, thank you, Jaeger Pony, for the very generous donation. I don't know if you want me to tell how much it is, but it's very generous. Cheers, you deserve it. Thank you so much. Seriously.
Good. Thank you for supporting Bloodwing.
Okay, as of 4 hours ago, she tweeted that it's not over. Judge gives final ruling tomorrow. So,
anything that involves chemically castrating an 8-year-old boy, just how can anybody find that right? I mean, even if they rule in her favor, I would think that they would. But I don't think like they do. I think like a sane, reasonable person. I would think that they would say, well, okay, but you have to wait until he's old enough, until he's older.
I mean, it's how, to me, the mother needs to be psychologically evaluated because there's something that's got to be off in the head to sit there and try and push your son and keep saying, well, your name is Luna. You wear this dress. Your name is Luna. You're going to wear this dress. Your name is Luna. He's 8. Knock it the fuck off and let him be a kid.
Well, yeah. And my dad.
Well said.
my dad wore dresses, but they did that back in the 30s. They did. They put dresses on boys and girls alike up to a certain age. That's where the saying "put your big boy pants" comes from. Put your big boy pants on, because it was until a certain age that they actually wore pants. And I've seen pictures of him in a potato sack dress, literally made out of potato sack.
Maddie, can I ask you for a favor, please? Can you go to your dashboard, the beta dashboard? You know what I'm talking about, the new one that everyone hates. Can you just go to your videos and just tell me if there's any kind of warning at the top of the page? I would appreciate it, please.
Okay.
Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly. So, what's been going on with you two then? What's been happening? Any drama in the community I don't know about?
You know me. I don't pay much attention to drama, or try not to, unless it directly affects me. Just busy with, J Kid and his new bride aren't back yet, so the wife and I are still tag teaming, watching the youngest daughter's kids till they get back.
I was so happy to see that. It really.
She seems to be a good girl. I really don't know her very well. He kind of kept her away from us, and rightly so. Rightly so.
Yeah.
But the one thing that really relieved me, because I didn't know anything about her family or what kind of people they were, nothing, And we got to the wedding and got to talking to some of them, and they are every bit as redneck as we are. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'm down with, I can get along with this.
I think the only thing I have at the top of my screen says new by default, potentially inappropriate comments on your channel will be held for you to review. That's all I have at the top.
Oh.
Yeah, Shio, it was a shame. And I told him on Twitter, I hoped that they would get a win while he was there watching. But he showed a picture, and his seats, my gosh, I don't know what they cost. It has to be in the hundreds of dollars for the seats that he had at the game. They were midfield, field level, right on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he was only like maybe 10 rows back from the field or something like that. It was very good seats and very expensive. They had to cost them hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, that's a pretty penny right there.
Yeah,
Maddie, I just sent you what I see on my end.
Okay, did you DM it to me?
Yeah, on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what it is.
no, there's no format to this stream. You know that.
I'm getting loads of errors.
You know that.
YouTube's broken again.
I've learned though that if Badger and I get to talking about the NFL too long, we start to lose viewers. So
you know why you got the warning? It's because the gerbils in the UK died and they have to replace them on the wheel.
Yeah. and my video's just been hit by the bot of doom. Review requested.
Shio.
You're broken.
I said to my wife, I saw a woman with her boobs out on the bus feeding her son. She said, it's natural. Natural, I replied. She was giving him crisps.
Yeah.
There's a song. He's a comedian that done country songs. That was his comedy. And he said, Mama's got he had a song called Mama's Got Her Boobs Out. That's what that reminds me. I can't remember who that was. Somebody in chat might be able to tell me. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's.
Yeah. As much as the other thing that we've been coming around with the past couple of days is as much as Google is going, Stadia is going to be great. Stadia is going to be great. Stadia is going to be great.
Oh, I forgot about that.
When they release Google Stadia, it's going to be Wi-Fi only, and that includes cell phones.
Well, I thought that was the case. It's not a physical console, is it?
Well, in terms of, in other words, they're not going to make it. Let me see exactly what I put on here because I've got that stuff.
No, it wasn't Ray Stevens cynical. It's somebody much more recent than Ray.
Let's see here.
Although I do love Ray Stevens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they call her the streak.
Oh, I love that. I used to know all the words to that when that first came out in the 70s. That was hugely popular.
Yeah.
And crossover, they was playing that on the rock and roll stations. But my personal favorite is the Mississippi Squirrel Revival. Rodney Carrington, thank you, Duck Dog. Yeah.
Let me see. It says Google Stadia launches in about a month. And if you've purchased the Founders or limited editions, but as we've already seen, early adopters will have to deal with a few quirks and limitations. The platform's much touted wireless controller will only actually be wireless if you're playing via a Chromecast Ultra. Connecting to any other device will require a USB cable. And now we have some bad news for folks who are hoping to play Stadia on their phone via their mobile network. It will be available for Wi-Fi only. So if they were thinking about, playing the Stadia on their phones without Wi-Fi, just using their data, it's not going to work. It's Wi-Fi only. So they're shooting themselves in the foot, and they haven't even released it yet.
Well, I had no plans of getting one anyway, so.
Me either.
Well, no.
That said, I want to get Alfie a Switch Lite. When I was looking at it, I was like, I would also like a Switch Lite. I don't know. Does anybody have one? I mean, I used to be big into the Nintendo stuff,
Izzy, if you go to Izzy No Brace channel, he did a review on the Switch Lite.
The way that my hands work anymore, the last thing in the world I need is a handheld gaming device.
And my mom, who's often fond of buying herself the gaming consoles and stuff, she bought herself the DS, the first generation DS, first ones that came out.
Yeah.
She wound up giving it to me because she couldn't get used to the dual screen thing. It kept throwing her off.
In fact, my hands shake so bad sometimes that the day of J-Kid's wedding, I was trying to trim my nose hairs, you know. I was trying to get all prettied up and presentable. And had a pair of scissors, and they were shaking so bad. I'm thinking, I'm going to jam this thing up in my brain. Is what I'm going to do. I did finally get it done, but I had to grab the pairs. I had to grab the scissors in one hand, and then grab that hand in my other hand. Like, stop it.
When I went to sit down at my computer this morning to get ready to start making this video properly and fully. I mean, I made the intro yesterday, but actually got into full swing of it today. I opened up my Proton mail and had an email. It's the first sponsorship offer for Irate Alex. And guess what it was?
What?
Body pillows.
Oh, he's a weeb. Let's do this.
I was like, yes.
I actually had an idea for because I've been thinking about merch for a while. Just haven't done it. Have to decide on what company to go with. And there's a ton of companies out there that sell T-shirts and stuff, and it seems like everybody has an opinion on all of them, and somebody's favorite is somebody else's hated. So I can't make my mind up. But anyway. I was thinking about making a Redneck Trek T-shirt, and there was a line that I said on Monkey in the Morning the other day when we were talking about the all-woman spacewalk, and I was going to put BJ Hickenlooper on the front of it, and on the back put, "In space there are no mulligans."
Yeah, I've got to at least. I set myself a goal of one design per week going up in the Redbubble store, having to do with the coffee memes that I make. So hopefully by the end of the week I'll have one up on the shop because people tend to like the ones that I make.
I do want to put out some merch out, some T-shirts maybe, and some coffee cups, something. I can't decide what company to go with because every one of them I think, well, I'll look into that, and then I'll read something on Twitter where somebody hates them and they got screwed over, and it doesn't matter which one.
Yeah, everybody's had at least one thing, but it's like Viper and 2 or 3 other people have told me that Redbubble's not bad. Some people don't like Teespring.
Yeah.
So I'm going to avoid that because I still remember, I think it was Barry that had a problem with Teespring and getting his money from Teespring at one time. So yeah, I'm not going there. And to make you smile, Alex, just a little bit, I went to put my 6th item in my Streamlabs store, and it went, "No, you're going to have to pay $20 for Prime."
Yes, good. I'm glad. So you should be paying for it. I have to.
Instead of that, I'll go over to Redbubble.
Sarah asked you, Alex, will it have vibration?
I don't know. I have not looked at the full complement on the website. I have looked at the website though, and actually body pillows not as expensive as they were at the anime convention I went to in Liverpool. Believe it or not. Some of them are around just under £40, which is a lot cheaper than what I thought they'd be. When I did email them back and I said, fuck yeah, I'm interested in this type of sponsorship. I did put a request in, though. Mm-hmm. I told them that if I could get an anime version of Lord Bear, would they put it on a body pillow? So I'm waiting for the response.
It's Sarah vibrating Lord Bear pillow. She'd never leave her room.
I just wanted to, I would buy it if when you squeezed it, it would say filthy peasants.
Such a good idea. Oh, Sean. That's way too much.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I've never priced the body pills. I should get one though. When I've always heard that you rest better if you're a person that sleeps on your side, which I am. If you put a pillow between your knees.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had my surgery, I had to do that. It hurt not to. So I put a pillow between, and I'm like, this ain't bad. So I just, grabbed an old pillow I had laying around and stuck it between my knees. But I've thought about getting just a regular, long body pillow that, I can wrap my knees around. It's funny how that little thing just makes a heck of a lot of difference. It wasn't just my knees not clashing together because I got bony knees, but it took a lot of pressure off my hips.
Yep. So every time you say Mercedes is Lord Bear, I want to go, what you want now? What you
Well, Mercedes has run off with Derek now, so
Uh-oh.
yeah, so there will be a new character introduced as her replacement at some point, and I imagine Viper will want to voice that character.
Yeah. Tune in next week for another episode of Lord Bear's Place.
There is almost no Lord Bear lore in this video. I just had to get shit done today.
This is a very gay conversation. Hey, I'm talking about just not an anime bed pillow, just a regular body pillow. You know me. I don't do that anime crap.
He does. He's lying. He's into some messed up stuff.
Well, that may be, but it ain't anime.
No, it's hentai.
No. I don't do Japanese anything. And the very few.
Do you have a Sony in your house? Do you have a Toshiba?
No. Buy American.
Yeah. What's your laptop?
Well, it is. But I got it cheap.
It's cheap or expensive, doesn't matter. It's still Japanese.
Well, as far as entertainment, I don't do anything Japanese. In fact, very few Japanese games. The Final Fantasy series is one of the few that I could tolerate.
I got my first offended snowflake comment on BitChute. They're like, "Oh, fat American woman making fun of the entirety of North Korea." I said, "No, I wasn't making fun of North Koreans. I was making fun of Kim Jong-un. Get it right."
Yeah, and what's not to make fun of? I mean, come on.
It's like when he started this whole missile thing and this back and forth with Trump. I was on a live stream with a couple of my friends, and the over-exaggerated imitation just came out, and so what came out of my mouth was, "I am Kim Jong-un. I fire missile to make up for small dick." But that's pretty much what came out.
You go home now. You eat too much.
Right? You go home now. You go home, eat noodle bowl.
That's what he's been telling his people for years. You go home now. You eat too much.
I fire missile to make up for small dick.
All your food belong to us.
All your food belong to us. Mine.
Yep. It's like for that guy to go, "Oh, you just make fun of all North Koreans." No, I'm just making fun of Kim Jong-un. Thank you very much.
Gotta respect
your internet's still here.
So far, but they're still out there working. They're still out there. It'll happen at some point or another. It's just, I wish they would warn you, which they used to. Anytime they would cut off the power, they would come by and knock on your door and say, "Hey, we're going to be cutting the power off here in a little bit." Yeah. But they didn't do that the last time, so I'm not expecting them to do it this time. I've got a donation. Oh yeah, why is it not showing on my super chat? Oh, because there it is, because it's slow. Thank you, Cryptic, for the donation. Racist. Yep.
I can't be racist. I'm Latina. Ha ha. The new rules. See, even my dog agrees.
Doggy.
Yep.
Sorry, I know I'm distracted, guys, but when there's a lot of mechanized work going on about 20 feet behind your head, it's kind of nerve-wracking. Yeah, notices are not included with the new rate hikes. I know, right? I mean, I pay enough for the electricity.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Viper said there's something wrong with her. She's working on a video and got a script ready to be recorded. Well, good.
You got more done than me. I still got to get the review for the Batwoman comic book and episode 2 of the TV show up on my Geek channel. I'm already an episode behind. I need a clone.
You're a brave woman.
The comic book is excellent. I
Well,
like the
yeah.
artwork, I like the storyline and everything. And it's like when I watched the pilot, I'm like, what did you do? Throw the comic book away and only kept the lesbian parts? I'm like, what the hell? I don't know what comic book you guys read, but this wasn't the comic book I read.
Yeah. I mean, I've had bad experiences. I like the shows on the Arrowverse, you know, Flash, Arrow,
Yeah.
all those. Even though it's on a different network, Supergirl is part of the Arrowverse, and they cross over. And in order for it to make all the sense, you have to watch the crossover episodes on all the shows that are involved in it.
Yeah.
And I've watched some Supergirl, and I'm like, this is. Can you be any more in your face with the freaking radical feminism?
Well, it's not only that. It's like my first of all, I watched the pilot, and I'm sitting, talking to Ronan, and Ronan's like, "Oh shit!" First of all, the Batcave is under Wayne Tower. That's number one. That was never under Wayne Tower. Number two, she goes to rescue her, ex-lover from her military days who got kidnapped, and she goes to where she figured out where they were, and the stupid idiot walks through the front door. I'm like, who walks through the front door when you're trying to sneak in somewhere? You've had 3 years of training, and you went through military boot camp before you got kicked out because of don't ask, don't tell, and your dumb ass is going to stroll through the front door like nobody's going to notice you.
No, so that's the place they least expect it.
So I'm assuming this isn't the Barbara Gordon Batgirl.
No, Batwoman is actually completely different. Kate Kane actually was in the military. She was in the Marines, got kicked out because this was during Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and she got caught fraternizing with a female soldier. So she wound up getting outside training. In the comic book, she actually earned her suit. Her father actually helps her do the crime fighting. And her father actually helped her get the rest of the equipment she needed in order to do said crime fighting. So, and it's solid. There aren't really any cringy, undertones or overtones in the comic book. The television show, however, has you thinking that Batman completely abandoned Gotham, which would never fucking happen. That he sat there and tried to save her mom and her twin by just grappling hooking the car so it wouldn't fall off the bridge and leaving without making sure that the car was secure. Again, something Batman wouldn't do. How many of you out there would know that Batman would just abandon the scene of a crime if something was about to fall off a bridge?
Yeah.
And no matter how her dad tried to tell her that he's worried about her, she's like, oh, you don't want me. You just forgot about me. You don't want anything to do with it. It's like, oh my God, woman, can I just strangle you now?
So basically they got to make all the men look weak while making the lesbian woman look, like she rules the world.
Yeah.
I got you. So something I definitely would not want to check out.
You would, as far as I'm concerned, the next time he gets paid, I am going to ask Ronan, is there any way you could buy me some rum or vodka, and I'll just stock up on orange juice since I'm going to be watching each of these episodes and reviewing them, because I'm going to need booze.
Yeah. And it's not that I have issue, and I think my opinion probably it fits a lot of other people's. This is not that I have issue with strong women leads. I think that Ripley in the Alien series is just a total bamf.
Yeah.
You know, just awesome character. But when you gotta, it's the whole I'm better than men thing that just drives me nuts.
It's like, and they've completely changed everything because, you know, all of us know that the main part of Gotham is the fact that Gotham is a living city. It's not just in the background. You always get shots of the city, no matter whether you read the comic book or watch any of the movies or anything like that. That's the beauty of Batman and Gotham. Here, so far, it's just a backdrop. It's just a city in the background. The GCPD took a backseat to these crows, which are a paramilitary security organization, which pretty much are allowed to do anything in the city unchecked.
Deck Train says, Maddie, they weren't allowed to use Bruce in the Arrowverse. Yeah, I assumed that. I'd always wondered about. There has been little wink, wink, nod, nods on Arrow and so forth. You know, they say things like that guy over in Gotham, you know, but they don't call him by name.
Yeah.
There's also been little wink, wink, nod, nods to Dick Grayson's character.
Yeah.
But without calling him by name. But yeah.
I mean, to me, if they don't have to make it seem like he abandoned the city. It's like whenever the subject came up, they could say, well, I haven't bumped into him lately. Because I know he's out there, or maybe a headline in passing on a newspaper or something like that to let you know that he's still in the city, because Batman would not leave Gotham. I mean, to me, that is the most unbelievable part of the entire show. Batwoman has no personality. They don't know how to write somebody that is stoic and cynical and they just have her she's a piece of freaking unemoting cardboard.
Yes, Alex, you have a nice booty.
I'm checking the light reflections. Too much on that one.
No. You need something matte to hang on the wall.
Look, I've lost weight. Look, I've lost weight. Look.
Yeah, I don't know why you want to. You're only like 180 pounds, you scrawny.
I'm 179 pounds.
Scrawny?
As of today.
Yeah, Deck, and I'm not and I'm not the least bit impressed. Dex, yeah. I mean, it's in the comic book, she earns everything. She goes the 2-3 years of training that she goes off to get, she comes back, and her father's the one that had the bat suit made for her and finished rounding out, you know, her HQ. In the show, she just appropriates everything that used to be, you know, Bruce's, and it's like, okay, so where do we go from here? And then it's just so much shit wrong. Like, okay, Batman hasn't been in Gotham for 3 years. Bruce hasn't been in Gotham for 3 years. Both of them disappeared around the same time, but Gotham hasn't made the connection yet that Bruce is Batman. Are they all wearing these magical Superman glasses that make them stupid?
It is that time, folks. Where did you know always comes? The old man's got to go pee, so I will be right back.
Mm-hmm. And yes, I realize I gave my weight in pounds, but that's because I know that the vast majority of the audience, my own audience, and most likely Maddie's audience as well, is American. Whenever I talk about my weight on Twitter, I always do the translation. Yeah. I usually do it in kilograms as well, but do any of us do it in kilograms?
I don't think so.
I know you guys do it in pounds. We do it in stone. Although when you go to a doctor's here, they tend to do things in pounds. You know, I weighed myself today and I'm under 13 stone now, which is 179 pounds. I'm not like Bloodwing's like, you know, he's like, well, I don't know why you want to lose weight. I'm not actually actively trying to lose weight, people. I'm not actively trying to lose weight. ADHD medication. That and being a lot more active than what I used to be as well. So naturally, I'm going to drop a lot anyway. I've already, I'm going to sneeze. That's me. How much weight have I lost now? I think before I started the ADHD medication, I would have been 14 and a half, 15 stone. fat bastard, near about us around 195 pounds. But no, I've lost quite a bit of weight. I've lost probably around nearly 30 pounds.
Yeah, we started.
Give or take.
I was posting it on Twitter for a while. Me going for walks with the puppy in the morning and the afternoon for about a half an hour, and we were feeling good. And then I woke up one day and she had chewed my tennis shoes. And that was the only kind of walking shoes I had, so I got to wait till I get walking shoes so I can start walking again.
Speaking of ruining shoes, the last couple of days I spent a lot of money. Not just on the office, but a couple other things as well. Not material stuff, but actually trying to get rid of a lot of shit. And in the process, I've ruined my shoes, my only good pair of shoes. Got blue paint on them. And today I got all kinds of disgustingness on them.
Don't you know you don't paint in your good shoes, you doofus?
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to get it done, mate. I was in a bit of a rush. Was it either that or paint barefooted? So
I made a mistake like that when I was about, I don't know. I was married, so I was in my early 20s. I had a brand new suede leather coat. Expensive. And I went, a bunch of us men were getting together to paint our church. It needed painted. So we were painting. And dummy me wore my suede coat, which was good. I hadn't splattered any on it until my cousin come around and said something to me. And I turned around and leaned back on the wall. I just,
It's funny. I did a very similar thing today. Vanilla Bear wanted to do a bit of sanding and paint the banister a glossy black. And you know, gloss is obviously very different to any other kind of like water-based paint. It's not an emulsion. It stays sticky for quite some time. And she's like, "Don't lean on it." I'm like, "Okay." Within 20 minutes, I'd leant against it with my hand. I'm like, "Ah!" And that stuff's hard to get off as well.
It is.
When I was with my second husband, my son said he wanted to help me repaint the office because we wanted to do it half and half since half the office was his. And I said, okay, this is exactly what I told him. Wear old clothes you don't give a crap about because paint tends to drip, whether you want it to or not, no matter how careful you are. Okay, so, next day he comes in and we get everything out of the office. We, start painting everything. And all of a sudden I hear, shit, I got this on my favorite hoodie. I said, what part of wear clothes you don't care about did you not understand yesterday?
Apparently all of it.
Apparently.
An update on the work outside. They're still working at it. It takes a little longer for this particular pole than others because it also has the transformer on it. So yeah, they're switching the looks like they're getting ready to switch the transformer now. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get through this whole stream. We got an hour to go. But I'm not guaranteeing anything after that.
Yeah, isn't it just latex paint or stain in regards to the gloss on the banister? It's just a gloss.
Yeah, I never did get it, and it was white paint on a light brown suede jacket, bomber jacket, which were popular in the day, and I never did get that paint off. I was so sick.
Man, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. But Vanilla Bear and I, we ripped everything out of here. Obviously, I spread out my PC, my desk, and the things I wanted to keep throughout the house. And we came in here, and because there was black mold in some places as well, we chipped away at the walls, scraped away in some other places, ripped everything off the floor, and went to town, really. Did the plastering, which obviously is not professionally done, much to the triggering of Viper's brother, who I believe is who saw it and is college trained in that particular field. That's fine. It doesn't matter to me. This isn't a proper room anyway. As I said, it doesn't even have electrics built into it. It doesn't have heating. All this is all via extension that's led through these things when these were built back in the 60s. And whereas a lot of people in my area have converted them into proper rooms, the council never converted mine. So this is as bare bones as it gets. There's no insulation in here. There's no electric fittings. There's no plumbing, no nothing. It's basically a shed. It's basically a brick shed attached to the house. Like
it'll probably outlast the rest of it because it was built in the 60s and I was built in the 60s. So I know we're tough.
I wouldn't be so confident about that one big thing. Not you, but these houses. These houses were thrown up really quickly to deal with the overflow between Liverpool and Manchester. The walls in these houses, like never mind this bit, but the house itself, the walls aren't straight and they're very fucking thin, very thin. They were just thrown up super quick.
So were they modular or?
I don't even think they were that.
Prefab?
I don't even think they were prefab either. I think someone came along with a Lego set and just tried to go off that, really, with paper and straw. I'm not even joking as well. Between the walls, it's just like straw between them. You can hear everything that goes on next door. It's ridiculous. But yeah, this is basically a brick shed attached to the house, or what one might describe as an outhouse. No, there was never any flooring. I'm sat on several layers of loft wood that I purchased recently, and beneath that is soundproofing, and below that is membrane, which I then put, obviously, the wood is the new stuff. The membrane went on top of that. Then the new soundproof matting went on top of that. Then the rugs went on top of that. It's not warm in here, by the way. no matter how hard I tried, even though there's membrane on the ceiling, it's full of rugs. Craig, you've seen the rugs. Have you seen the rugs?
Yes.
There's lots of rugs. It's rug central in here. It's not warm in here. That curtain does nothing. It doesn't keep the cold out at all. So I have to periodically turn the radiator on that you've seen, the broken melted one. I have to turn that on every so often as well. And again, everything in here is on extension, so I have to be very careful about overloading and setting the bloody place on fire.
Just be glad you don't get the severe cold that I get here. So, then
we don't get bloody American Russian weather here. You know, we don't get that icy vortex, thank God. But
Maddie won't get that either where she lives. Although an ice storm or two in Texas is not unheard of.
Oh no, I'm used to. They had ice storms over in Georgia too. I wake up and there was like nice 2 inches of ice covering everything in Georgia. It happened in '93 and a few years after that. Yeah,
it won't be by January, late December, January. We'll be getting sub-zero weather here where I live. I'll guarantee you.
Oh, I'll hear my mom complain because she lives up there in Minnesota. So yeah,
she gets it worse than I do. Then
yeah. I remember the first time after she'd gone up there, she had sold the house and everything. Went up there with Dad because they had to follow his job up there with Northwest after 9/11. And I said, "Well, what's it like up there?" She said, "It's cold." I said, "Well, you said you like the cold weather." She goes, "Let me be a little more precise. I have frozen parts of my anatomy I didn't even know existed. And when you can hang a side of beef outside your back porch and it flash freezes, it is too cold for a human to exist."
Yep.
Russian weather.
Yeah. And I told her, I said, "You know what, Mom, I'm about to use this phrase." She goes, "What phrase?" I said, "Be careful what you wish for, and I gotta fuck you in return."
Duck Dog asked, "What is loftwood?"
Yeah, it's not a type of wood, it's a design of wood. It's like what's that type of friggin' wood called where it's has kind of like the texture of sawdust, kind of. Obviously it's not sawdust. They're solid wooden panels, but they're kind of like you can fit them together like a puzzle piece. I have maybe 9 of them connected in here.
So kind of like particle wood.
Yeah, particle wood.
It's very thick. Very, very thick.
Yep. RJ, having lived in Georgia, I can tell you all they have to do is hint at a possible iota of any kind of snow falling, and people go nuts. And the first thing that disappear in the stores is the milk, the bread, and the eggs. Every single time.
Clinton Whitaker says here in West Virginia, we are already getting frosts of the morning and temps below freezing. We haven't had a morning frost that I'm aware of any day that I've had to be out early in the morning. It's not exactly frost, but it's just a hair shy of it. It's that heavy dew that won't go away. You turn your wipers on and 2 seconds later it's back. You know what I mean? It's hard to see where you're going.
Oh yeah.
But it's coming. It'll be here anytime. It's a coming. We've got Halloween coming up. Between now and Thanksgiving, we'll be getting our frosts.
I hope you don't get that vortex again.
Yeah, you and me both.
Although here in the UK, they have predicted very similar weather this year. And I'm like, Mom, I was speaking to my mom when she was the one who said it to me. It's like, Mom, they say that every goddamn year. And she was like, yeah, I know. But actually, considering the summer that we had this year, we had 2 weeks in like May, and then that was it. So it wouldn't surprise me if we had something not too dissimilar from American or Russian styled winter.
Yeah, last winter was just brutally cold. We didn't get a lot of snow. Well, not what we would call a lot of snow. We probably got maybe 12 inches overall the entire year, which might sound a lot to some of you, but for us, it's not bad. It was not a lot of snow, but my God, it was cold.
Yeah, a dusting. You would call that a dusting. Georgia would call that a crisis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The UK would call that the apocalypse.
Anything less than 4 inches is just a dusting. That's no.
That's
big
what
deal.
she said.
Yeah, that's no big deal. 4 inches or less. That's no big. You don't even shovel your walk for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
4 inches, and the UK would shut down. Every school would be shut.
Mm-hmm.
No store would be open. There would be newspapers that nobody buys because then they won't go outside.
Well, you have to hand it to DOT, Department of Transportation here in Indiana. They're so used to the snow and the weather that we get here that they're on top of it. And we'll get snow overnight, and by the time you wake up, the main arteries, the main roads and highways are already clear and salted. So
yeah, it was like I used to. Mom and I remember one year. Dad worked for the airline. So come hell or high water, snow, ice, whatever, he had to go to work. And there was one morning where I looked outside and there was like snow was on the ground. So we turned on the radio and we were listening for the school closings. And first, the government buildings closed downtown. And then a little bit after that, they closed my school. So both of us stayed home. And when Dad got home at 4:00 that afternoon, he opened the door. When he saw the both of us, he goes, "Was I the only one that was supposed to go to work today? What did you two do?" Mom, watch TV.
Yeah. Viper says, Alex, mainly because people in the UK don't know how. Whoop! My chat jumped. Don't know how to drive in snow and panic. I'm
Absolutely.
waiting for the first snow here. We do know how. I mean, obviously, we're going to know how to drive in the snow since we get quite a bit every year. But for that first snow of the season, that very first one, everybody forgets. And there'll be people slip sliding all over the freaking place.
Mate, I've seen it here. Like, as I said to Viper, I'm not to blow my own horn. I am actually a fairly decent driver, except for when it comes to reversing. But I'm okay. I'm an okay driver. I'm very good on judging distances and knowing when to brake and that kind of stuff. A couple of years ago, we had a lot of black ice on the road. A lot of it. It had been snowing and stuff, but the snow had cleared up. And I saw a guy, not in a car, not in a saloon, not in a hatchback, in a frigging truck. A big truck as well, unusually big for our streets, like almost American big. And he did what looked like, to the untrained eye, as a 90-degree handbrake turn at a very, very big set of lights. And I was like, hold on. Those things are supposed to be outfitted for this kind of weather. What's going on here?
Well, was it a pickup truck or?
It looked like a pickup. Yeah, there's a big.
Well, they're
big,
very
big one.
light in the back, unless he had sandbags or something in the back to weigh it down over the back rear wheels. They're very light, and people. That's a mistake a lot of people make here. They think, "Oh, well, I got a 4-wheel drive truck; it'll handle anything," but it's light in the back. And they'll get overconfident. They're the guys passing you on an icy road doing 60 miles an hour. And then you pass them in the ditch another mile up the road.
Yeah, isn't that just the case? But I've only had a couple of close calls when driving. And it wasn't ice that got me. It was, I presume, oil on a roundabout. And it was the most pathetic spin out you've ever seen. I must have been doing 15 miles an hour going around this roundabout when all of a sudden my car just spun. Next thing you know, I'm facing the opposite direction, and I stopped, and I looked up, and there was a guy in a pickup in front of me who was laughing his ass off at me, and I burst out laughing.
It's
I was
no
like,
big,
what the fuck?
Yeah, it's no big secret on how to drive on snowy and icy roads. Just drive like you got some sense. Keep a decent speed. According to what kind of conditions you got. Don't tailgate people in front of you because you're not going to be able to stop. And keep your head on a swivel.
Double the stop. No, wait, you quadruple the stopping distance. With ice.
I probably aggravate people behind me because I will give lots of room to the guy in front.
Well, you're supposed to.
Yeah, and
you're supposed to give in 4 times the normal. Is it 8? Is it 4 or 8 times the normal distance? I can't remember.
I think might be 4. That's what it is here anyway.
Because in the rain, it's either double or 4 times, and in the snow, it's either 4 times or 8 times. I can't remember.
Owen Harmon said earlier something to the effect. I can't find it now. I'm scrolling back, but they're in Hungary. They don't even close the schools unless it's like 12 inches. Yeah, we're about the same. It has to be 7, 8 inches at least before they even think about closing the school, and they may not do it then. But that's the kind of mornings that we all get up early and turn on the TVs to see, because they'll list all the school closings.
Yep.
Our school will send a text message.
Well, ours does too now. Yeah.
Yeah, when we were growing up, you either had to listen to the radio or watch the TV.
You just had to turn up and see what happened.
I have turned up to school before and it be closed because we didn't get the memo.
Yeah, same. The school I went to was really bad at communicating. When even then they wouldn't have texted it out. They do that kind of thing now. Both of my boys' schools will text pretty much anything relevant. But even last year and the year before, they didn't text any. They didn't shut the schools down at all for my kids last year, which really upset me because I was like, I don't want to go outside.
Jay Wolf says 4-wheel drive does not work on ice. 2 wheels or 4 wheel spinning is still wheel spinning, and you can't stop a vehicle quickly on a sheet of ice. That is exactly correct. But invariably, you will get those idiots in their 4-wheel drive vehicles, their Jeeps, their pickups, their SUVs that think they are invincible because they have 4-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Isn't that just the case?
Yeah. I remember there was one year I was working as a server at O'Charlie's, and we woke up to snow and ice on the ground and everything. And he goes, well, corporate hasn't closed us, so you got to come in. I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to drive in this shit. All right, wait. So I'm sitting there going slow, paying attention to, so I make it to work. And after about the 5th person comes in asking for the soup, I went into the kitchen. I'm like, do they not realize that this is just nacho cheese soup with onion and garlic powder and fucking red potatoes thrown in? Why are they risking their lives for soup?
Yeah, the only tires bands that I find that work really well on icy conditions are studded tires, and I'm not even sure you're allowed to have them anymore. There are regulations for studded tires, and when you can use them on the road, because they do tear the road up.
Yeah.
They actually have. When I worked at the tire store, I used to do that. They don't come with the studs in them. You have to install them. You have this little air gun that installs the stud in the tires.
Yeah,
I would feel a lot more comfortable on the road if I had an old school Army Range Rover. Not the Range Rovers you see now. Sorry, my bad. Not Range Rovers, Land Rover.
Uh-huh.
Just the little 4x4s. Because because those things that they can deal with anything. They're also road tax exempt as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very, very good for that kind of thing, and they're only little as well.
It was Clinton Whitaker. This is when you were in school. It snowed 3 feet and you had to walk uphill both ways. You laugh, but they did close school very seldom when I was a kid. In fact, I had to walk to school because we only lived 3 blocks away. I walked to school and back in knee-high snow, and actually got frostbite on my feet because the neighbor lady was supposed to pick us up and she forgot. So my sister and I walked home in knee-high snow, and no, school was not closed.
Yeah, my dad used to say that too, because he went from Cuba to when he was about 14 years old. They went from Cuba all the way to New York, and they lived in Astoria for I don't know how many years. And so, yeah, he's like, yeah, they never closed the schools up there either. I had to go to school. He said, when you open the door and you have waist deep snow, and they're like, nope, school's still open. You're like, well, shit.
Yeah. Their criteria for closing the school was much higher when I was a kid, it seemed like, because it almost never closed. Now, 78, the blizzard, heck yeah, they closed because nobody could get anywhere.
Maddie's gone for a poo.
Yeah, I see that. I was just looking. That's the reason I hesitated. The little private chat symbol popped up, and I said, but that's all ahead of us. Winter's coming, folks.
Winter is coming.
Yeah, winter is coming. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy the fall weather. I love the fall. My wife and J Kid and all of them think I'm nuts, because it's like it's been in the 40s in the morning, which I don't know what that is Celsius. You'll have to look it up, but it's chilly. It's not that far above freezing, but I've been standing out smoking it. Yeah, standing outside smoking at my daughter's house with nothing but a t-shirt with a long sleeve shirt open over top of it, the sleeves unbuttoned, and just enjoying the crap out of it.
I like autumn.
Yeah,
because it's not so cold that you need to put on a big jacket,
right?
Which I'm not a fan of wearing, but it's not warm enough to kind of go outside with that hoodie on. I like wearing a hoodie. Yeah, it's also not so cold that my car isn't covered in ice.
Yeah,
on the inside as well as out, like it often is. But yeah, it's odd, man, because outside it's probably warmer outside than what it is inside here at the moment.
Oh yeah. I don't doubt it. There's this time of year, it will often be warmer outside than it is in the house, and I don't get that. I don't understand why that is.
Just weird, I guess. But I like the colors. One of my favorite things, especially at the moment, since I started this job, I've been in the job a month now, by the way. I come home bright and breezy, and round the corner from my house is a road, and on both sides of the road there's lots of trees, and it looks gorgeous. All the different colors.
Oh well, the leaves haven't turned here yet. That's coming
they have
soon.
Here.
There's the pirate dog.
Yep.
Yeah. But just south of me is Brown County. That's which has a huge state park in it, and it's actually world famous for the leaves in the fall. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Every color in the rainbow, and some you never thought of.
Yeah, I like it. I like all the different colors and stuff. It's gorgeous, especially first thing in the morning or around sunset. Around them, looks lovely.
Yeah, they haven't started to turn yet, although they have started to fall a little bit. There are some leaves on the ground.
Yeah, we got some of that going on down here too. A little bit. Takes a little longer the further south you go.
I imagine it does.
She says, "I'm done being on camera."
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm not looking at him.
Yep. She's made her appearance. She said her hellos, and now she's off.
Hey, well, we've made it an hour and a half through the stream, and they haven't cut us off yet. So,
Yet.
Maybe we'll make it the next 35 minutes.
Shill something.
I've already shilled what I have to shill. That's all I got.
Shill it again.
The next Redneck Radio will be Thursday at the same time, 2:30 Eastern. And Redneck Trek episode 18 will be Sunday at 5:30 Eastern. So
yeah, I definitely won't be there for the next couple. I'm back to work tomorrow night, so
yeah,
and I'm in till Sunday morning. Then I'm off for 4 days, and then back in Thursday night next week. I'll have a lot more time though to get shit done. I don't have anything to kind of get done between now and then, so I'll be more time for content. So maybe I might even get a live stream in there. Who knows?
Who knows?
At
You
the
never
moment,
can tell.
I'm shooting for one video, and possibly one live stream for every block of 4 that I'm off.
Hey, Snippet, how you doing? Owen Harmon says the last episode of Redneck Trek had me in stitches. Thanks, man. You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoy it. I actually, in my mind, I'm thinking this wasn't one of my better episodes, but I'm glad that you all thought it was funny. But I've always been like that. I am my own worst critic.
We all are.
Yeah, I was about to say same thing. Same thing.
I remember when I had a manager ask me to make signs for her store, so they wouldn't scratch lottery tickets on the counter and all this stuff. So I took out all my stuff and made the calligraphy signs and everything. Brought them. I even laminated them. Brought them to work. She paid me for them, and then I started looking at them, and I'm like, those 2 letters aren't exactly special. If you keep looking at them, you're going to take them back home and redo them. Leave them alone. They're fine.
Hey, Zombie Teddy, how you doing? And yes, Snippet, there were cars when I was a kid, for Pete's sake. I was born during the start of the muscle car.
Who said that?
Era.
Oh, he's been a dick.
I was born during the muscle car era. So, yeah, the 60s. I was born actually in 1960.
Yeah. We're around the age where if we have inside jokes that you youngsters don't have. Like if somebody starts repeating themselves every once in a while, I'll go skip.
Yeah, I love me some muscle cars, Bansma. And it amazes me, all because so many what we call muscle cars, from that era, from the 60s and early 70s. People are just drool over because they're gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous cars. They were great designs, and they just looked as mean as they were. and I sometimes wonder at myself and think, I was alive when those were new off the showroom, and we seen them on the road all the time.
I don't know how I feel about muscle cars specifically. Not specifically muscle cars as in the old school bad boy looking badges, the Mustangs, Yeah. But obviously as time has gone on, they took the old designs and then they remade them. They modernized lots of muscle cars, giving them a more sleeker body rather than the more square design. And honestly, I like both.
Yeah, I do too.
I like both, but the old school, obviously, they looked mean. They looked angry. The Dodge Charger. Mean. That was a mean vehicle.
Yeah.
But like the modernization where they've taken those, I don't think they've changed much. But they've made them more aerodynamic and sleek and more curves on them. But I like those as well. But if I ever was to win the lottery, which is never going to happen because I don't take part in the lottery, I'm not in it to win it, people. I would like to have one of each.
Yeah. I mean, my all-time favorite, if I had my pick, what muscle car would I have? Would be a '67 Goat GTO.
Yeah.
I would just love that car.
Mine would be a 1965 candy apple red Mustang convertible hardtop.
There is one of those round here that I see every so often. I don't. It's left wheel. It's left side drive as well. So it's been imported from America.
Yeah.
Snippet, yeah, just a few years. He says he's 54. I'm 59. I'll be 60 in March.
Yep.
Big landmark birthday coming up.
Yeah, when my mom hit 60, 60, I was working for Party City. And I bought a whole bunch of like over the hill stuff, and I orchestrated it to where it went to one of her friends' houses up there in Minnesota. So mom's birthday came, fell on a Saturday. I didn't call her. I didn't forget that it was her birthday. I just got so busy I didn't call her. And so, she had accused me of forgetting her birthday, which was actually Friday. She was invited over to her friend's house Saturday. And I was waiting because the friend's house she went to was the friend's house that I mailed all the birthday shit to. So when she got back that afternoon, phone rings, I pick it up, and I went, hello. She goes, you little shit. As soon as I turned the corner and saw all that over the hill bullshit, I knew that was you. I said, you thought I forgot your birthday. She went, yes, I did. I have to admit that. I was wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I like some of the redesigns of the old designs, if you will, like the Dodge Challenger.
Yeah.
It keeps enough of the old look that you know what you're looking at. That's a Challenger.
Mm-hmm.
But with a little bit of a sleeker redesign. The new Camaro, which resembles the late 60s, early 70s style Camaro, the more square, before they went long and low.
I've seen one of those as well, actually, IRL.
Yeah.
Very, very pretty.
Oh, very, very much so. I like them, but I still, all in all, and it's probably nostalgia more than anything, I prefer the old original 1960s, early 70s muscle cars.
I don't think it's a case of nostalgia, really. Well, for me anyway, I just can't decide what I think looks better.
Yeah, I mean, there's just something. And if you've ever heard one, I don't mean on TV or over a live stream or on a video, up close and personal in real life. If you've ever heard a late 60s big block American motor just rumble, something about it. You're just like,
that purr. Yeah. I remember I had a boyfriend of mine when I was in high school take me to the World of Wheels in 1988. And he was over on the side of the building where all the, the lifted trucks and the ones with hydraulics and the ones with like $10,000, $15,000 stereos in them and all graphic work and shit. And after a couple of hours, we like met in the middle, and he goes, you got to come over here and see this pickup truck. And I said, you got to come over here and get to the back corner because there's a beautiful 54 powder blue Bel Air you have to take a look at. That's where you've been. I said, and the problem with classic cars is?
Yeah.
I said, at least classic cars, you can tell one from another. Nowadays, it's like, is that a Toyota or a Honda?
I almost once bought in 78. I almost bought a powder blue Buick Skylark. It was a 72, which was still a good body design. And the Skylark looked like the Cutlass, like the Malibu. That was that type of body style. Didn't do it, though. I let my dad talk me out of it. One of my regrets. I wished I'd have bought that car.
Yeah. The delivery. I was on a delivery. The guy had his garage door open, and I just, instead of knocking on the door, I had to stop when I got to the garage because he had, I think it was a 67 Thunderbird two-tone white on black with the fins and everything, and I'm just sitting here just drooling over it. And the guy comes out with a smile on his face, and he goes, do you want to sit in it? Oh, can I please? He goes, let's do the transaction first, and I'll let you sit in the driver's seat. Oh, thank you.
Now, I never owned a Bel Air. I did have a Caprice. I had a 72 Caprice, and I had a 71 Biscayne. which was the same body style as the Bel Air. The Biscayne at 71 was the last year for them, was the lowest end full size car that Chevy made at the time.
Yeah.
You know, but boy, that thing would run like a striped snake.
Yeah.
Only lost one race in that car. Had a 350 small block in it, a 3/4 race cam. It was a 4-door, so it was a sleeper. I just blow everybody's doors off until I got in a race with an El Camino. It just ate me alive.
Ugh.
And as he pulled away, I realized this wasn't his first run at it, because painted on the hogshead, the back of the rear end, you know, painted on the back plate of the hogshead was "Eat My Dust." Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd done it before. I was glad we weren't racing for slips, which we were wont to do in that day.
Yeah. I remember
That's
we had
naughty.
a friend of ours in my gaming group said, "Hey guys, I've got this." He got a, what the fuck, Chrysler LeBaron. That's what it was. And he goes, "I got a brand new LeBaron, guys. Come out here and take a look." And we all got in it, and I was that friend, because we're all looking. I'm like, the interior's nice. It's a nice car, and then all of a sudden I saw it was an LED HUD dashboard, and I'm like, "Oh shit, blow a fuse and the car won't start." He goes, "Leave it to you to say that." I said, "It's the truth. You blow a fuse, the car won't start."
But the LeBaron had nice Corinthian leather.
Yeah, right.
Remember those commercials? Are you
Yes.
old enough for those?
The
Yeah.
Corinthian leather. I remember that.
Yeah, the same actor that played Khan on the Wrath of Khan,
Yeah.
Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah,
used to
my mom joked that when Ricardo Montalban started, he was in a commercial for the Cordova, and she said after he was in the commercial for a Cordova in Miami, you couldn't spit without hitting one, because all the Cubans had to go out and buy one, because Ricardo Montalban said you had to have a Cordova.
Clinton Whitaker says, "My grandpa collected and fixed classic muscle cars, and he had a Barracuda that he souped up, had to chain the axles together." Yeah, I've seen that done, because you get so much power in a car. I've seen it blow the axles off, so they would chain them so that they wouldn't totally leave the car.
I wish that I could remember the make and brand of the car that my friend's dad had in his garage that he spent years and years restoring.
Yeah,
It was like it was like a race car, but it wasn't like an official big sports car type thing.
uh-huh.
It was not too dissimilar from an old school Beetle. I can't remember exactly what it was. The engine in that fucking thing, he would turn it on for me sometimes, and the roar from it was incredible. You know, you expect that kind of sound from, you know, the biggest of muscle cars.
Well,
Go,
the worst of that I ever experienced, it wasn't even an American muscle car. It was an old 1950s something Jaguar, 2-seater. The intakes were in the side of the hood. It was a 12-cylinder, a straight 12. If you stood too close, it would try to pull your britches off with the intakes. I mean, serious. And it just rumbled. A guy that used to work for me as a mechanic had it, and he would bring it in the shop and work on it on his lunch hours and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. It was basically an airplane engine in a car as well.
Well, this car, it was like, you know, it was like whether they tried to set it must have been, I don't know, 50, 60 years ago, you know, when they try to set up a brand new racing league, but there were no rules set up yet. There was no regulation set up. So they just had these old beat up, what looked like a Beetle. It wasn't a Beetle though. It was the same color that most Jaguars come in, like the classic Jaguar color, the very British Jaguar color as well. It's a friggin' beast, just noise. I wish I could tell you what it was.
Yeah, hard telling. You was talking
really
about
old school.
You was talking about the Beatles. You know, when I was in the 70s, in the 60s and 70s, it was the thing to take the engine out of those old Beetles because they were air cooled, and put them in dune buggies, make dune buggies, homemade dune buggy, and power them with the Volkswagen engine in the back, because they were air cooled, not water cooled, and they would not overheat in desert conditions.
Diz, I wasn't lucky enough to see the vehicle fully restored. I imagine he's fully restored it by now. I would have loved. He just used to take me into the garage. You know, me and my mate, we'd sit in it, and then his dad would get in the seat and then turn the engine on, rev it for a bit, and be like, "Yeah, go on."
Say what you want about them old Volkswagens, and I had a 1966 Volkswagen bus one time. Chartreuse yellow, and yes, it had flowers all over it. Flower decals. But Mom and Dad had a 68 Volkswagen bus, and that thing, when it snowed, we were talking about the snow earlier, because it was rear engine over the rear wheels, it would go in the snow when nobody else could go. And we took it to the Smoky Mountains one time to visit the mountains. And on the trip up the mountain, we're passing all these American cars that are overheated because it's in the thinner air, and they're overheating. And we're just going along because we're air cooled. Now, it was a bear in winter, because an air cooled motor doesn't put out very much of a heater. The heater sucked.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We were all bundled up in the back with blankets. Seriously.
Well, at least you could do that.
Yeah.
Poor driver, not exactly the best position to be wrapped up.
Yeah, no, it was a cold one in the winter, but man, that thing just went and went and went. They drove that thing forever. They still had it, and it was still running. Because that's what I learned to drive on, was that old Volkswagen when I got my license in 76.
My dad had a for the longest time 1976 Datsun King Cab pickup truck before Datsun became Nissan, and King Cab meant 6 extra inches behind the seats.
Yeah.
And guess who got stuck behind the seats? That would be me. He had that thing. He said if I could fix it, he was in an accident. He said if I could fix it, by the time I was 16, 17 years old, I could have it. He'd sign it over to me. Once he realized that I was serious, because I was asking for, estimates on how much master cylinder would be, and new shocks, and deoxidizing the entire paint job, because it was that beautiful fire engine red. He decided to take a look at it and told me that it wasn't restorable because the frame was warped.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and the day he got into an accident with it, he came home, and Mom goes, "What happened?" He goes, "Well, I ran into a friend on the interstate. Literally, my brakes went out. I ran into a friend on the interstate."
Oops.
I went, "Dad?" He goes, "What? How else would you explain it? What happened?"
And yes, Wikipedia snippet, just like on Convoy, a chartreuse microbus. That 066 I had would take an hour to get up to highway speed, but it was good on gas. I mean, it would literally take several miles before you could get it up to 60 mile an hour.
I went to a car show. There used to be a car show where I grew up almost every single Wednesday. I think the penultimate Wednesday was I didn't go to that one because it was like mopeds and motorbikes and stuff. But the last one of the month, they'd have a proper big car show. And when I went last time, there was a guy driving, and they do this all the time. Like, the police don't do anything about it either. They have about a quarter-mile strip. They don't race, but they drive up and down it as fast as they can. And there was a guy in a Mini Cooper, an old school Mini Cooper that he'd worked on. You could see he'd put a lot into it. He'd souped it up, and the color was like a metallic beige, and it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. He was doing handbrake turns around the roundabout in the fucking thing. I think those cars are gorgeous. I hate the new ones, though. They're ugly.
Hey, Badger. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, it was chartreuse yellow. It actually had wooden bumpers on it, But the reason I drove it and loved it, because it was a party wagon. It was one of them that had the stove and the sink and everything inside. And we partied in that van like there was no tomorrow.
That's what you want.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun until I finally threw a rod in it. But apes.
Never mind. The Badger's here. He's a shitbag, isn't he? I was trying to give him shit the last time you streamed. Not the last time, but the time before that when I was just about to go to work and he's ignoring me, the dirty German. Prick. Should get him on just for the last 13 minutes and just not talk to him.
I call him Stats Boy lately just because.
Is he getting autistic about this the football season, is he?
Well, he's all about stats, you know. And I know he's all about the numbers and math.
The Germans were about the numbers, weren't they?
Yeah,
and
but you can't gauge football just by the numbers because it is very much a game of passion. There's a lot of things that you can't put numbers on. But they're handy, used right. The stats are handy. I'm not discounting statistics. Owen Harmon says, old mate of mine had a Citroen 2CV. We got a 6 people in that once. Wow. Sinatra says a 67 Impala, best car. I owned a 67 Impala. Thank you very much. Just like the one that they drive on what's that TV show? With the 2 boys that take on all the monsters and the Supernatural. That's the name of the show. Yeah. Except mine was blue with a white top. Yeah. Blue with a white top.
Yeah, the CUDA in that show that great. Don Johnson was in. That CUDA was nice. I can't remember the name of the show.
The one with Cheech Marin.
Yep, the one with Cheech Marin.
Oh gosh, I can't remember.
That CUDA was sweet. I was the odd kid in it that would watch movies with their friends, and if there was a classic car that was wrecked, I'm like, no, not the car.
Sinatra, no, unfortunately, I don't have it anymore. I was overhauling the 4-barrel carburetor on it one day and dropped a little screw down the intake, didn't realize it. And when I fired it up, I ruined a piston and I ended up selling it to somebody else. I just wasn't in the mood to fix it.
Yeah.
A shame.
Yeah. Nice car. I loved that car. It had so much power in it that I was constantly putting U-joints in the axle because I was kept blowing them out by pulling hole shots.
I met a mechanic at a truck stop that was certified to work on classic cars. And this guy came into his garage with one that had blown an old flywheel. And I watched as this guy machined by hand a flywheel for that automobile because he said, well, they don't make them anymore. And I'm certified for a reason. Let's make this part and put this in here. And I'm like, oh, can I just watch?
I will tell you what, though. It had a Holly 4-barrel on it, And if you eased into it, you wouldn't kick the 4-barrel in, and it wasn't bad on gas. It had 327 small block in it. Power glide 2-speed transmission. And but if you kicked that 4-barrel in, you could literally watch the gas gauge drop.
Oh God.
Seriously, it would start to drop if you kept that 4-barrel in. And it was hard not to because it just sounded and felt so good. And I was young at the time, so I had that was the car I had when my wife and I first got married. I had a 67 Impala and she had a 67 Cutlass.
Yeah.
When we got married. So
I remember the first time my kids saw classic. We were at a little bitty car show in Noonan. They used to do these in parking lots. And we got out of the car and he pointed to one. He goes, "What is that?" And every time he pointed to one, I told him what it was. And he goes, You know what these are? I said, "Paul, these are classic cars. These are works of art on wheels. These things are to be admired. They're works of art. Not nowadays when you got to look at the emblem and go, oh, that's a Toyota." Because back then you could tell a T-Bird from a from a Corvette, from a Camaro or a GTO. They were all different. They all looked different because they were all designed differently.
Well, even if you didn't know what model car it was, you knew who made it because of the look. And the same was true for the American cars, Chevy, Ford, and Chrysler. You could tell because they just had that look about it.
Yeah.
Jay Wolf says mom's 69 Chevy Kingswood station wagon did the same thing. 350 big block. Some of them old station wagons, because I owned a couple, would fool you. They looked like family cars, and they were family cars. They were what we had is before minivans. If you had a family, you had a station wagon. But most of those station wagons had a monster motor in them to pull all that. Trust me.
Yep, my grandmother had one of those Grenada station wagons, and she just, she would never. I never saw her gun the thing until one particular moment. We were out running errands, and she had to go to the bathroom. She put her foot on the gas. That thing got up and went, and she did a full U-turn. I swear to God, all the way, and she hugged this damn curb as she did the U-turn. And I'm like, Grandma, where are you going? I have to pee, and there's my sister-in-law's house.
I loved my when my kids were small. I had a 72 Capri station wagon. Man, it wasn't good on gas, but I could sure haul the kids around in it, and it would get from A to B in record time. Trust me. Had the 400 big block in it.
I miss my Ford Transit van.
I've had full-size vans before, and I do like them.
Well, mine was only a short wheelbase. In the UK, you have to get a license for anything bigger than that. So what's it, 3.5 ton? Anything bigger, if it was like a long wheelbase, I wasn't able to drive it, but I loved it. You sit up straight, it's a lot more comfortable when you're driving.
Yeah.
Once
upon a time, I had what year was it? I think it was a 72 E250, which is the half ton E250 Ford van, long wheelbase. But it was a monster to drive. It was manual steering with a huge steering wheel and a 3-speed on the column. Oh my gosh, it was a monster to drive that van, but I liked it.
My little short wheelbase had power steering on it.
Well, this was a work van. I transformed it into a family van. I drilled holes. I actually went to the junkyard and bought some seats because it didn't have any seats in it. It was just a work van, right? And bought seats and bolted them to the floor and turned it into a family van. Now, the kids couldn't see where we were going because there was no windows in the back.
Yeah.
But
they usually aren't. You have a super chat there.
I do, and thank you, Owen Harmon. Let's all get Alex some tasteless anime posters with Hooters.
Technically speaking, I already have those.
Yeah,
I have some very naughty ones actually that are folded over.
Pervert.
What they came in the otaku box, dude. Like, calm down.
One of them daggum preverts.
Prevert.
No,
he's a provert.
Obviously, I can't show you, but there are some etchy ones that are folded over just in case any of my kids come in here so they can't see it. A couple down there.
The puppy.
Yep, the puppy. She popped up in my lap again, so I figured.
I had a Chevette once, Matthew Brissett, and that thing was tougher than you thought it was because I got in a wreck in that thing. Shoot. I was in a 4-car pileup, and the other 3 cars used me as a pinball. A bread truck hit me from behind, knocked me in the car in front of me, which spun me into oncoming traffic, and another car coming the other direction hit me. and I drove that thing on to work.
Wow.
It was a tough little car. It knocked all the windows out of it. But I drove it on to work because I had to get to work.
So I remember my dad used to have a blue and white Econoline conversion van, and I had to drive it to school one day. And I kept telling him it wasn't a good idea because it was too big for me to drive. And I had just dropped off my son at this lady who said she was going to babysit, and I couldn't gauge the how far across, how wide the road was when I was reversing because I wasn't used to a car that big, and I accidentally run over some little old lady's mailbox. And I didn't even know it. I didn't feel it. As soon as I realized that it was flattened, I kind of stopped the van, got out.
Terrible, Maddie.
I know, right? I got
Terrible.
out, knocked on her door, and she thanked me. And I said, "How much does the mailbox cost?" She goes, "Oh, honey, when you get my age, the government just comes out here and replaces it. Don't worry about it." Yeah, but it was then when I realized I had my size limits. It's just mid-size SUV is about as big as I can drive. Anything bigger is too big.
Oh shoot! Some of the equipment I drove at FedEx, the tires on some of the loaders I drove were taller than I was, significantly taller.
Yeah.
So I drove some big stuff. Some big things. What's scary is when you're driving a pushback and you're pushing back a multi-million-dollar jet. That's scary. It's like, hey, don't want to hurt this jet.
I'm surprised you haven't just done a stream just talking about that job.
I loved that job. I really did, and I hated giving it up. I had to give it up because my legs just got too bad.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't. I would spend 6-8 hours working and then spend the whole rest of the day recuperating. I just couldn't walk, and I hated it. But I did love it. I loved it. I loved working at FedEx at the ramp with the airplanes and everything. It was a great job. Hard. They worked you hard. Don't get me wrong. You worked hard for your money. The turnover rate at the FedEx hub is humongous. People come and go all the time. I would get, I was the ramp agent, so I was just under the manager, and I'd get new hires, get a group of half a dozen new hires, and you give them the little speech to start the night. It's like, most of you are not going to be here at the end of the week, is what I would tell them, because that's just the way it was. But,
you've spoken to me at length about that.
Yeah, I loved it. I did. Hard work and all. A lot of good memories about working at the FedEx ramp. Wife still works at the not at the ramp, but she still works for FedEx. Anyway, look at that. They let us finish the stream. They're still out there working on the pole, but at least we've made it through the stream.
Yep.
Thank goodness. I was nervous about it. I really was. I'm not going to lie. Thank you, everybody, for coming out as always and listening to us talk. You could be doing anything in the world other than spending your time with us. So I sure appreciate that. And thank you so much for the very generous donations today. I appreciate that too. And but as I always say, and I'll just keep saying, this is your channel, y'all. It just has my name on it. That's it. You guys make this happen. Thank you, Maddie, for coming on a little bit of short notice. I was playing games and lost track of time again. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I told you I'd be here on Tuesdays.
Anything you want to shout out?
I do want to shout out this particular blog that has all my links to everything, and be on the lookout for an announcement, because we're going to finagle it to where our computers are in 2 different rooms, but we are going to do the husband and wife version of 7 Days to Die now that somebody sent me a key and now that I have a copy of the game. So we shall see how that goes and how many times I yell at him for letting a zombie come in the base.
Yeah. There you go. And hey, Matthew Brissett, glad you made it regardless. Better late than never. Alex? Wasn't
Hello.
sure you were going to come in today, but thanks for coming on. Anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, I will be premiering my next video soon. Soon, yes.
There you go. Be on
Soon.
the watch out for that. And as I stated earlier, for me, the next Redneck Radio will be Thursday at 2:30 Eastern time. We'll be doing time change pretty soon, sometime this month, I think. So yeah, be ready for that too. And also episode 18. Hard to believe it's 18 episodes already. 18. My gosh. 18 episode 18 of Redneck Trek will be this Sunday at 5:30 for the premiere. So check that out. Anyway, glad all of you come out. Thanks to my guests for coming out here, but we're gonna head out of here before they cut us off. So get out of my yard.
Bye, guys.
Bye.